Hey YouTube, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I talk about things fountain pen and journaling related. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Welcome back and Happy New Year. I'm going to be saying Happy New Year for the month of January because it helps me remember that we are in 2024. All right, today's video is going to be a top 5 of 2023. I think I'm going to be recapping, thinking back about what I used in 2023 and what some of my favorites were. And today's video, I'm going to talk about my top 5 inks in 2023 that were my favorites. Not so much in usage maybe, but the colors that really appeal to me. And I'm also going to talk about my top 5 fountain pens with maybe 1 or 2 honorable mentions that kind of slid in late. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to move my pens out of the way. Let's do the inks first. And in no particular order of ranking at all, but pens that inks that I ended up really enjoying. I'll give you a small little swatch. I'm using my little Sailor Hiroko pen that's with a Fude nib. Shout out and pre-hint, I will be doing a top 5 kind of things that I acquired in 2023. And it's going to be probably pens, paper, etc. That are related. So in no particular order, I'm just going to move these over to the side. And the first one that I have in my hand is just a little ink sample of, let's see here, let's get you in focus. It's Van Diemen's Honey Bee Eater ink. I really did enjoy this ink from, I got it from Van Ness. I find that I get most of my inks from Van Ness because they just have the largest selection in the United States and they give you a really good size quantity. But right now, and I've got weird light coming in, so I'm going to really zoom in here and try to maybe put that into the sunlight since I've got a bead of that happening. The weather's been a little wackadoodle in the Atlantic coast area of the US. Okay, so this is Van Diemen's. And I apologize for the weirdness of lighting, so I'll try to put things into the sunlight. This was Honey Bee Eater. This is a very interesting kind of tealish, greenish blue color. Let me zoom in even further. That I just found to be very, very interesting. I'll put that back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out this ray of light that's coming through because it's been overcast most of the day and now it wants to. So that's what honey on the angle looks like. This is a weird thing. Honey Bee Eater. So I think I'm going to just keep you guys in the shadow. And actually, let me try a light. All right. Sorry about that. I think this is going to help out quite substantially on being able to see the ink samples a lot better. So I'm going to just kind of keep it here and do some adjusting here just to see if this kind of comes in. But that's Van Diemen's Honey Bee Eater. Really did enjoy this ink. It's pretty well behaved. Van Diemen's has some of the most interesting colors, I think, that they pop a lot in their inks. So there's Honey Bee Eater. Next off, I have another ink sample, and this one is Robert Oster Jade. Absolutely love this green color. I think it's one of the best greens that it's not too dark, not too light. It just has really good saturation, really good flow as well. And just really, really enjoyed it to the point where I may end up, if I get through, oops, I'm getting ready to screw that up. Sorry about that. I can't talk and write at the same time. So that is Robert Oster Jade. Really like that colors. Ended up getting this kind of late in the year, but I really did actually really enjoy it. Another ink sample. This one I got from Yoseka, who also has really good ink sample sizes, and they have wonderful little pots that they store their ink samples in. And I like their samples just because the jar is wide enough to get any nib pretty much into the inkwell that they have here. It actually just is a really good size opening of jar. This next one is, and I think I've got a little bit of a pool saturation here. And as you can see, this ink is pretty watery, but very well flowing. Oops, and I think it's just because my nib is really, really wet. So let me just try this again. Yeah, and this ink is Kiro Iro, Stone Road to Gion Road. Really like the earthy brownness of this ink color. It's kind of a mushroomy brown color. Again, I saw Kiro Iro before at one of my local stores, and I kind of slept on it, but then I decided that I wanted to get a good size sample. So I've got this. I don't have the full bottle. I'm trying to stay away from bottles of ink unless it's just so exclusive that I can't get samples, to the point that one of the inks that I'm going to be able to mention but not show you, I can't even get because it's gone, but I will mention it by name. Tachia, this Bin Tsuchi, I love this. This was an ink color. The one that I could not get was Rogalina from Organic Studios. I can't find it anywhere in the US. They do have people on eBay that sell it. I just don't trust eBay selling. Oh, and it's gotten some crust on, sorry, I've got some crust from the sample bottle that has leaked onto the paper here. So let me just dip this and then put the cap back on so I don't get any spills. Bin Tsuchi from Tatcha. Tatcha's got really well behaved ink. I hadn't really explored the world of Tatcha at all, but I'm really glad to have discovered this. And this is Bin Tsuchi. I just find that this color is, I like reds, I like reddish browns. I just found that this color was absolutely gorgeous. All right, so that takes care of that. It's kind of actually a reddish orange ink tone shade. And last but not least, one of my absolute favorites that I did end up buying a small bottle is Diamine Celadon Cat. It ended up becoming one of the wonderful blues that I got in 2023 that I just really, really enjoyed. And of course, with it being Diamine, you know it's going to be well behaved and just perform really well in most pens. And for the winter time, this is going to actually, I'm going to bring this down because it's already got sunlight coming in. This is Diamine, and I can see drippage is getting ready to occur. Diamine Celadon Cat. And I see what the problem is. I don't think this nib is quite in there as it could be. So that's it. Those are the top 5 in no particular order of preference. Inks that I really did like in 2023. And I'm sorry for the weirdness of the light. It is just a really quirky thing. And even with my extra light, I can't get you guys in from stop seeing this. But these are the inks of 2023 that I just absolutely really enjoyed. Now let's talk about fountain pens. I've got 2 honorable mentions and 5 absolute favorites that I absolutely loved. Topping off the list in no particular order, but this one from Jim Hines & Co. This is the Golden Espresso. I think I actually obtained this back in 2022 at the DC Pen Show. And I got my nib. I absolutely love the uniqueness of this fountain pen. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see some of the sparkles. His wife does all the pen turning for their blanks. She does a wonderful job. And then this wonderful kind of funnel up design of the cap is absolutely, I just think this pen is gorgeous. So this was one of my favorite fountain pens to use in 2023. Next up, I have the Estherbrook Botanical and Oversize. I was on the fence for this pen when it came out. I think this came out late 2021, maybe early 2022. I sat on not getting this pen. I was kind of conflicted at the time. I went to the DC Pen Show in 22, and I think this did come out in 2022, and I just sat on it and I wasn't really sure, and it just started weighing on my head. So I'm trying to be more intentional about buying fountain pens. There's a lot of pretty pens. I can't own them all, and looking at my fountain pen companion collection, I don't even use them all in 1 year because now I have so many. So I'm really trying to be mindful in 2024, not letting the brand new shiny thing that everybody's getting me run out and get it too, unless I really feel like it can fit into my collection. So I will also be offloading quite a few pens if I can this year. But this one is a keeper. I ended up getting a different nib in it. I think I got the medium in it, and then I went and bought a fine for it. It was just a little bit elastic fine, a little bit too juicy, but I really do like this pen. I like the girthiness of the Oversize in Estherbrook. I didn't think I was going to like the Oversize. I still like the regular SDs as well, as I have another one in the collection that's going to be a favorite for 2023. But this one ended up becoming one of my faves. Next up, the Leonardo Momento Zero with Jonathan Brooks Primary Manipulation 2 collab and matte finish. I absolutely love this pen. It writes beautifully. I love the fact that it has the clear ink window, which is a first, I think, for Leonardo Momentos. What I did not like about the pen was the original nib that I chose, which was an extra fine. I think I ended up swapping it out for this fine, but I also noticed that when I swapped it out for this nib, I'm going to have to check at the DC Pen Show this year. It seems like that when I turn the nib into the housing, you got to be careful about not overturning it. I want to make sure it didn't get stripped, so I'm going to have somebody take a look at it from Leonardo. But it still writes well, but I also noticed that it did put a ton of ink into my cap. But this pen actually does write really, really well, and I love the ink window. That was the thing that really sold it, plus having a matte finish when I have so many fountain pens that have really smooth, kind of shiny acrylic finishes. So absolutely loved this pen. It's one of my favorites. Another pen that came out in 2023 that I absolutely love, and I'm glad I waited to get the True Gold or the product review forecast from Yoseka, is the Sailor Home Pen. I got mine in Media Fine. It is a Pro Gear. It's not the slim version, it is the Pro Gear with the 21 karat gold nib, and mine has a medium fine, and this is one of the best writers. I used this pen for at least I think almost 2.5 months before I finally uninked it, and it was in my January currently inked. I have since ran it dry, but it is absolutely one of my favorite fountain pens of 2023. Okay, and lastly, 2023, the Estherbrook SD Raven with the button piston filler. I love this pen. The matte black finish is absolutely, it's just killer. This pen writes so incredibly well. I thought I cleaned it out all of the way. I had jade in it. Oh, I'm still actually, this one's still currently inked. I have jade ink in it. I have a medium, but it writes like a cursive medium metallic. They did just such a beautiful job with this pen, and I know that they're going to have additional black nibs coming out. I talked to, in a previous video, I was at the DC Pen Show for Farney's, which is a local fountain pen shop in Metro Center area of downtown DC, and the guy who's at all the pen shows said, yeah, they're going to come up with extra spare nibs for this. So if you got a nib size and you're not liking it and you want a black one, Estherbrook is supposed to be releasing, additional black nibs for this Estherbrook SD. So these are my top 5. I'm going to zoom back out here. Top 5 fountain pens for 2023 that I absolutely loved and adored. I thought these were all just really solid writers, great purchases, really glad that I was able to get them and obtain them. Some honorable mentions, just a couple of them, are some of the less expensive fountain pens in my collection, and the Jinhao 82 is absolutely one of the favorite pens that was a nice little find to get in 2023. I bought, I think, 4 of these in total. I think I'm going to have to get rid of a couple of them, but I bought 4 in total. And this pen writes so incredibly well. It is a dupe of the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. I absolutely love it. This one is in my January, currently inked with Diamine Candlelight from the Inkvent calendar from 2021. Great pen, just writes really, really well. So if you're getting into fountain pens for the first time, that is a great pen to probably pick up. You can get them on Amazon for like right around $8 or $9, depending on where they're at with it. The other honorable mention that I have is this Coeco Perkeo. I got this as part of an order from another order that the shop that I ordered it from, and it keeps eluding me, sent it to me as a freebie. And I love this pen. I find myself reaching for this pen and using it in some of my journals on the regular. It is just a quick pop-off nib that can be posted. It has that wonderful introductory student fountain pen grip from Coeco. This is in a fine, but it actually writes kind of almost like an extra fine. And I know it's a similar nib, but I just find that this is a really comfortable pen to write with, and it's just great to actually throw into any bag, because it's so inexpensive. I think these things retail for about $10, but it writes like a dream. So I have this as an honorable mention because I keep finding myself taking it with me, throwing it in my bag, kicking it around town with me. So yeah, that was the other second honorable mention. That's all I have for today. Let me know in the comments below, out of the 5 that I have, which would be one that you would like to get if you don't have it in your collection already, and which one do you use on the regular, or what are some of your favorite fountain pens from 2023, as well as inks. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for sticking to the end if you made it to the end. I really appreciate your guys' time and energy of like just staying with me in all of 2023. I almost made 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting a little bit closer. So if you like the content, please hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, stay safe, and until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.